Christian Parenting.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed by your family schedule? Or do you ever feel like you finished the weekend and wish you had been a little more intentional with your family's time? We know that managing a family is rewarding but hard work. And if you are ready to transform your family time and make meaningful connections every week, I am so excited to introduce you to Christian Parenting's digital family meeting guide. Every week, your family will gather to plan the week ahead, talk about the highs and lows of the week, and focus your hearts on the Lord. With 52 weekly guides and 12 monthly planning sheets, this resource makes it simple to organize your family life and deepen your relationships with each other and God. The Family Meeting Guide includes weekly guides with Bible verses, family check-ins, and even a fun Kids' Choice section. My kids love this part of our family meetings. It includes monthly planning sheets to track goals, prayers, and appointments so everyone's on the same page. And do not worry, you'll receive everything in your inbox ready to print or pull up on your phone. Life gets busy, but staying connected doesn't have to be complicated. The Christian Parenting Family Meeting Guide helps you stay organized, grow closer, and focus on what matters most. Because you are a listener of this podcast, you can grab yours now for just $5. Make this the year your family grows in faith and connection. Head to cpgive.org today. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Christian Parenting Podcast. I'm Steph Thurling, and this is a podcast to equip you with the tools for your parenting journey and encourage you in your faith walk. I get to interview so many amazing people who share powerful stories, great tips, and incredible knowledge. And I am so glad that you join me every week. It is just an honor, and I'm truly humbled that you listen. So if you could you just take a moment to rate and review this show? It's really important in the podcast world, so I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Today, I am joined by my friends, Alicia and Kirsta Graf. They are a mother and daughter duo and two people that I really look up to and have for a lot of my life. They're longtime family friends, and I've had the pleasure of watching Kirsta and her two sisters grow up and watching Alicia parent. And today we get to hear just a little bit of their story. So Kirsta is 29. She has Down syndrome. She is just incredible and funny and fun, and Alicia shares her experiences with adoption, loss, and parenting a child with Down syndrome. She really emphasizes the need to parent as a team, to treat your family as a team, and study each of your kids to learn their individual needs. There are a lot of resources that we mentioned throughout, so make sure that you check show notes for links to all of that. They're really, really helpful. We also talk about all the amazing things that Kirsta has done and gets to do. She graduated from Bethel University. She works at the university now, and she works with an organization called Jack's Basket that congratulates families all over the world who have a new baby with Down syndrome. Reflecting back on this conversation, one thing that is really cool about this is at the end, Alicia shares something that she learned from watching my mom parent me and my sisters. And I feel like I've learned a lot from watching Alicia parent her girls. We don't see each other often, but her strength and faith have always inspired me. And it's just really cool to see the impact that mentoring relationships and relationships with someone just a season or two ahead of you can actually have. So just be encouraged in that and reflecting on the people who are making a difference in your life and in your parenting. This conversation is just a heartfelt reminder that parenting is filled with surprises and challenges, so we have to rely on God's guidance and have grace for ourselves. I hope that you love hearing from Alicia and Kirsta. Hi, Alicia and Kirsta. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Welcome to the Christian Parenting Podcast.
Yay.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is
Yeah. I'm really glad that you're here. Interviewing my friends is some of my favorites, so thank you for joining me. We're going to get right into it and get to know you guys. And our connection's kind of funny, so let's see if I can explain this. And you can add anything you want, Alicia. So I am close with my dad's cousin. Her name's Jennifer. I call her my cousin. She's actually Harriet's godmother. Her whole family, actually. Did you know that? The whole Scott family, they're Harriet's god family. She gets more than a godmother and father. She gets a whole family.
I love it.
So Jennifer you are married to her brother.
She is married to my brother.
Yes. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Yes. She is my
Yes.
sister-in-law.
Yes, she's your sister-in-law. So yes, that is what I meant. Sorry, I'm trying to explain this connection. And I'm like, it's like this weird triangle thing that you're like almost a relative.
Totally.
Almost a relative. And then you've always worked, and your brother have always worked at the Christian summer camp that I went to as a kid and then worked at as a college student. And then you became friends with my mom through that.
I know. It's crazy.
Way back from when I was very young. And Kirsta, you were very young. I remember you being up at camp as a kid. But if you guys as listeners are not following how we know each other, that's fine because I can barely explain it, apparently. Doesn't matter. Either way, we've known each other a really long time and you're almost family.
Totally. Camp brings people together. I always say that 1 week of camp is like a year of friendship.
That is true.
So that's how come we go so far back.
Yes, that is very true. Okay, so let's talk about you guys. So you can tell me about yourselves. Alicia, let's start with you. Just as mom, tell us about you and your family, and then you get that one word or phrase to describe your family.
Okay. Well, my name's Alicia Graf, and I was an elementary school teacher, and then I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So I got pregnant with Kirsta, and I had Kirsta back in 1995. And then we had some losses, but in the end, we adopted twins from India. And so, yeah, I mean, most currently, I feel like, a lot of my identity has been raising 3 girls and loving that. So, Dan's the only boy in our family. We don't even have a pet.
No.
So, Asha just got engaged.
Yeah,
So
see, you are adding a boy to your
we are
family.
adding a boy,
Yes.
and that's fun.
Yeah.
He's a doll. And then one word to describe our family?
Yeah.
Or is that not yet?
Nope, go for it.
I was thinking about that, and I guess cozy conversations would be how I would describe this girl family, because we sit in the living room
Every time.
for hours.
Yeah.
There's so much talking that goes on, and everybody has to have their blanket and candle, and everything has to be cozy. And it's been like that for many moons.
Yeah. I always tell people girl families because, I have my 2 sisters. My family of origin is 3 girls. And then now we're just a boy family.
I
Because
know.
we all got married and now there are 10 grandkids and 8 of them are boys. So you may have a girl family now, but you just wait.
I know.
You never know.
Isaac, Asha's fiance, is from 4 boys. So it's just been kind of fun to laugh about it. And yeah, who knows what the Lord has in store? We'll find out.
Yeah, you will. And it'll be fun. It'll be good no matter what.
Totally.
Okay, Kirsta, tell us about you and what you like to do, whatever in your word.
Well, I'm Kirsta, and oh man, my life is a little complicated, but I went to Bethel University for the Bail program, and I met a lot of friends there. Couple dating wise too, but I went to Mounds View.
Yeah.
So I was, the prom queen, and I did a lot of stuff there, like theater-wise.
A lot of theater. Yeah.
Super social.
Yeah.
Tell Steph where you work.
I work at the dining center at Bethel, and I do the desserts.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that's fun. Okay, I want to actually talk all about Bethel and all about, you also work with Jack's Basket.
Yes, I just was there already this morning.
Oh, you're just so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing all the things.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I want to get into all that. Oh, wait, you have to give me your word. Give me your word or phrase to describe your family.
All right. My word would have to be brave and outgoing, because that's totally my mom. Oh.
Cute. And you.
Outgoing, yes. Yeah, I would say you're both outgoing. Tell me why brave.
Like the movie Brave, and how to be what that we know God is with us.
so we can be brave. Yes, that's so true.
Very, very true. Okay, Alicia, let's start this conversation with you first as mom. And then Kirsta, I want to hear all about what you're doing now. And you chime in whenever you want. You just talk right over your mom. Let's talk about your journey to becoming a mom and just about being a parent. Tell me a little bit of that.
Well, gosh, Steph, it's a long, long journey. So it depends how much time you've got. But the short story is, got pregnant right away 5 years after we got married, and no infertility stuff, but ended up with a surprise emergency C-section and a little 2-pound baby with Down syndrome. This one, and so that was, of course, something you weren't expecting, and yet has turned out to be such a blessing and wouldn't have it any other way. And then about 3 years later, we got pregnant with our daughter, Lilia. And that's a sad one. She was born with hydrocephalus and lived for 3 months, had lots of surgeries. And then after that, we got asked to adopt a little girl by a friend of a friend. And then that, after having her 2 weeks, backfired and they ended up keeping the baby. And then, maybe a year later, we went to a meeting about adopting a baby from India and got a little baby named Aruna as ours. And 2 weeks before we went to India, she died in her crib. So that was a doozer.
Yeah.
And pretty heartbreaking, just wondering what in the world God was doing with all those losses. And then a week after Aruna died, the adoption agency called and said that they had twins that were available. I'm giving you the massively short version.
Yeah.
There's so many cool details of everything that went on, but we ended up getting a referral for Asha and Amira.
Yeah.
And then India closed adoption. And then we had to fight for about, 7 months to get that to go through. And just a miracle of miracles, went to India, got them, and came back home on Christmas Day to all of our friends singing Joy to the World. So they have been an absolute blessing and delight. And
They've been great sisters to me, too.
For sure. So, yeah, my personality is, I just love being a mom. It has fulfilled a lot of things that I get a kick out of, just come naturally to me. And I find raising kids with different personalities to be just intriguing and interesting and challenging to figure out who is this one kid and who is this one and who is that one and what do they need to be just encouraged in and what do they need to work on. And
what has surprised you most about parenting? 3 kids who are different, one with Down syndrome, 2 twins that are different personalities. What surprised you the most?
Well, I think what has surprised me in a really good way is having twins has been one of the most joyful experiences of watching unconditional love that I can explain. It's like you're watching a love that is so close to God's love because it's like this unconditional thing between Asha and Amira. And it doesn't mean that they never get on each other's nerves or challenge each other, but there's just an unwritten rule that they are forever bonded.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of a fun thing I never knew about. And I think another surprising thing is that all the things that kind of come your way in the moment, you think, why is this happening? Or why am I going through this? when you just get out a little ways, you think, oh man, that brought me wisdom. Man, that brought me joy. Man, that brought me faith. Just all these things that kind of circle around to your, I guess, your growth, your wisdom, whatever, that you just couldn't have thought it, in the moment.
Yeah.
So that's something.
One story I have to tell you fast is when I babysat Asha and Amira once when they were little. And I remember them you built a stage in your basement because Kirsta, you were very into dance and the girls were into performing. Yeah. So you guys had a stage and they were putting on a show for me and they come out and they're like, I'm Asha and I'm Amira. And then their eyes got really big and they whispered to each other. They're like, oh, wait, actually, I forgot. I'm Amira and I'm Asha. Okay, guys.
Who's who? Which is which?
You forgot who you were. It's fine. But they were trying so hard to trick me. They were like little itty bitty.
Well, and it was funny because they went to kindergarten one time and they came home and they said, Mom, we switched tables and Mrs. Pursuti didn't know that we sat at different tables. And, I wanted to just die laughing. And I just thought it was so funny. They're so identical. And then I had to kind of as a parent, they were like 6, say, that's kind of lying. And so they, it was one of those times where it's so hilarious. And then I was like, you really need to be your own person. And
yeah, it was my teacher too. And she was at Jack's today. So,
oh, really? Oh, cool.
Their kindergarten teacher had a granddaughter with Down syndrome and she volunteers at Jack's Basket.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that.
I know. So funny.
Okay. So in all of your parenting, how you kind of touched on this a little bit, but expand a little more on how has God sustained you through all of it? What has God taught you?
Yeah.
Tell me more. Yeah.
It's really never ending. Now the twins are 24, Kirsta's 29.
I say 29.
Yeah.
Actually.
I think to have grace for yourself, you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. You are learning along with them. And yet this is a real job and it takes real work. It doesn't just happen. You as a parent have to be growing, learning, changing, studying, curious. And, it's not nothing. It's not for the faint of heart. And, so I guess that's one thing. What else? I think just being able to say you're sorry and when you don't parent right. And I'm not a wimp. I'm not a person who's going to get walked on by my kids. I know that's a style out there too, of that the kids are kind of in charge. And I don't subscribe to that. I think Dan and I are in charge. And also, we're a team. And we've taught the kids that we're a team. And, we would come home from the YMCA and the twins and Kirsta would help me unload the car from the pool and put all the towels and this is when they're 5 years old. Put the towels and it's not a punishment. It's we just got to be together and go to the Y and swim all afternoon. And
it's really fun there.
Yeah. And it creates just a sense of unity and kind of team bondedness versus one person is the center of the family universe. And, even Kirsta having Down syndrome, I don't think she's the center of the family universe. And that's right.
Yeah.
You'd like that.
She's I beg to differ here.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, just giving everybody their weight in the family. Mm-hmm. If it's a mobile, to not have one person always, I don't know, taking up all the oxygen in the room.
Yeah. Which can be really easy to give people, one person that power, depending on what season's going on or what needs are. It can be so easy to be put all your focus on one thing.
Totally. And I think that can be a season where we've had different seasons where you have to do that, but you just don't want that to be this is a marathon. You just don't want that to be the story of the whole time.
Yeah.
Because there are times somebody's sick, somebody's really deep into, a sport, an activity, whatever it might be. Well, like your senior year in high school, I felt like you had a lot going on and there was a lot of focus for you. And then
senior year's
you went off to Bethel and the twins had their junior and senior year.
No, wait a minute. I went to CLT program.
Yeah.
And then Bethel.
Thank you. Then Bethel. And when she was at Bethel, the twins were in their junior and senior year. And, it was all about them. But within that, it's like just having a team mentality. I don't know. That's kind of worked for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, being at Bethel was really fun.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that. Because, Kirsta, you've done some really cool things. Like, God's opened some really amazing doors for you. So you got to go to Bethel. You get to work at Bethel now. You just serve dessert. You get to work with Jack's Basket. Like, tell us first about Bethel. Like, what did you do while you were there? Because you lived on campus.
Yes, I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you lived in
Nelson my first year.
And
that was really hard to leave.
It was hard to leave, yeah.
You had to leave home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
And you got to you went to classes, you did all the things that college kids do.
Did.
Yeah.
So you had a work mentor?
Yeah.
Housing mentors? Social mentors?
And were those students? Or were they faculty, or how did that work?
I can't remember.
They were students mostly.
Yeah.
So you had students helping you.
Just being a little teary.
Why are you?
I get it. Yeah.
It's just sometimes it's hard to talk about.
It was such a fun time.
Yeah.
Happy tears.
Yeah, I'm okay.
What was the best thing about it? Like, when you think back and you get a little teary because you had so much fun, what is the best part?
I usually get not too much coffee there. My mom was not okay with that.
I was not okay with the amount of coffee that was being consumed. But that was fun to have your own money and buy your own coffees.
Yes.
What about this?
Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met a lot of friends there. All my friends from Mountain View went to Bethel too. So I was like, okay, Nolan Thomas, Andrew, Fry, baseball, all the connections. I really got to know them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
And Tyler is a sports praise fan.
Well, tell Steph about your alumni group.
Yeah, we've been doing an alumni group. We go different events. And I think we just went
Packer Vikings game?
Yep, the Packer Vikings game.
So Kirsta's boyfriend, Daniel, his mom and I, even before they were boyfriend and girlfriend, his mom and I and another mom started an alumni group. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
It's called Build Buddies. So every one of the cohorts from Bethel, when they get done with their 2-year program, they can join our alumni group.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we do 2 things a month. So it's a really nice social outlet. And you just have to have graduated from the Bethel Build.
Can I jump in?
Oh, sure. What about us?
So, long story short, we started being as friends. And I think I remember going over to my auntie's for our first, movie night date. And we were waiting for her. And I really wanted a boyfriend. And not wanted, but but anyway, long story short, I said, can you be my boyfriend, Daniel? And he said, yeah.
That was 2 years ago.
Really? 2 years?
Yeah.
That's a long
It's been 2 years and now officially dating.
They're a great pair, those two.
So was he part of the Build program too?
Yes, he
does.
And the Build program is a 2-year program.
Yeah.
That you get to go to. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us what it is.
So it's a 2-year certificate program. And the kids are completely immersed into college life and with some supports. One of the things that they get is an iPad that they start working through everything on this iPad and just learning to schedule and do their homework. And Moodle, yeah, it was called Moodle.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know what they're using now, and so going to all the social events and
we had like a lot of like laughs along the way.
A lot of laughs
because we've been going to like watching movies, like the Great Showman one time, like out in our area when we usually
out at North.
Yes.
The first year they live in a dorm. At least this is how it was. I'm not sure exactly. I think they're on like year 10 or something.
Yeah, because you were one of the first ones to be in this program, right?
She was in the third cohort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And
it's still going, which is amazing.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
I mean, like how many friends there. So
did you ever envision like she would be going to college?
No. And I remember never. I remember hearing about this idea when she was in like high school that Bethel was considering starting this. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then it took time and they did like I don't know if they did like a practice year or if that's cohort 1, but I was involved in before it started, I don't know what you'd call them, just think tanks. And
yeah, North was our senior year.
Yeah, you lived in North. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, Bethel, the leader, Dawn Allen, she has stayed
all the teachers are so awesome.
Yeah. They have just given their life to this. And it's just gotten better.
Are there other universities that have this type of program? Like if someone's listening and they don't live in Minnesota, so Bethel University is in Minnesota, but if someone's listening and they don't, are there other programs that people can find?
Yeah, I know Clemson has a big program. And then there's a few out there now. I think Bethel was the first Christian university that did a residential program.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that are doing things where they stay at home and go to school. And then I think there's some more that are doing residential. But Ruby's Rainbow, which is
scholarship that I got.
She got a scholarship from a nonprofit called Ruby's Rainbow. And Ruby's Rainbow is where you should go looking. Because Liz and her daughter Ruby are just
amazing.
They're the connoisseurs of all things college.
With Kelly Hampton.
Yeah. And
they all helped me to get ready for Bethel.
Yeah. Ruby's Rainbow and Kelly Hampton. Her thing is called Everyday Small Things or something. I can't remember. But they came and did a whole film on Kirsta going to Bethel.
Yeah.
That was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And just about, and now their girls were little tykes at that time. And now they're, in junior high. So.
When my kids were littler and I was having their siblings, or when my sister was pregnant, they had a lot of questions about what was going on inside their mommy's tummy. And best-selling author and pro-life advocate Abby Johnson has a new illustrated kids book called What's in Mommy's Tummy. It is the perfect book for questions that your kids have. In a fun and child-friendly way, Abby helps parents show their kids that the life growing inside mommy is a baby brother or sister. So in the story, little Luke has noticed his mom's tummy getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he really wants to know what's going on in there. He has some ideas, like, is it a cat? Is it a dragon? Maybe a kangaroo? But as we know, none of these things are growing in mommy's tummy. So what could it be? What's in Mommy's Tummy helps parents prepare their children for their new baby brother or sister in a humorous way. It highlights life in the womb from a Christian perspective, and it gets children excited for their new sibling. What's in Mommy's Tummy is the perfect gift for expecting moms with young kids. You can get your copy at Tyndale.com or FocusOnTheFamily.com. Do you have a child who struggles with a specific subject in school? Or do you have a child who's ahead and just not getting challenged enough in the classroom? For either of those kids and anyone in between, you should go check out IXL Learning. I've talked about it before in this podcast, and it's worth talking about it again because I really believe in this program. IXL Learning is an online learning program that enriches your homeschool curriculum and classroom education for your kids. It offers practice in math, English, language arts, science, and social studies while adapting to each child, meeting them exactly where they are for what they need. Plus, IXL encourages students to be curious and empowers them to choose how to learn. And the best part is, IXL is so easy for parents. One site gets you everything you need, and IXL customizes learning for each child and their needs. Everything on IXL is organized by grade, subject, topic, and then subtopic, so it's simple to find activities for the exact skills that you are covering. And IXL offers instant feedback and explanations of new topics as kids use the program, so you can feel confident that your kids will gain an understanding of the skills that they're learning. You can make an impact on your child's learning and get IXL now. And Christian Parenting Podcast listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/today. Visit IXL.com/today to get the most effective learning program out there at the very best price.
What was it like sending her off to Bethel to school? Like, if you weren't ever expecting her to be able to go to college, then she's able to go to college, then you have to send her off, your oldest child. What was that like for you?
I cried. But it was like,
We did too.
Yeah.
when she was in kindergarten, I couldn't imagine sending her to kindergarten. In fact, I may or may not have made Dan ride the little bus to kindergarten. Sure did. And I followed in the car. Crazy person. But, when she got to that point, it was like, well, what's your other option? You have this opportunity in front of you. And it wasn't the easiest thing, even those 2 years, because all of a sudden she had all this freedom.
Drinking too much coffee.
She's drinking too much coffee and a few other things. And, so it wasn't always peaches and cream, but it was such a growing experience for her.
Yeah.
Really bonded.
And now you still get to work at Bethel, which is super cool. I want to talk a little bit about your other work too with Jack's Basket, because you get to be on social media a lot with them.
Yeah.
And you get to speak at their gala. You get to do you do so much. So can you tell us what Jack's Basket is?
Well, it was technically about congratulate parents with babies with Down syndrome. And Carissa was my old babysitter. So it's really good.
Who's Carissa? Did she start Jack's Basket?
She is the founder of Jack's Basket.
Yep, she's the founder.
Yeah. Along with,
so go ahead.
Along with Melody, Bauer, Victoria, Aaron, Emily, all these girls that I really get to know.
That work in the office? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And how do you congratulate the babies? You create baskets to give people, right?
But for me, I do the card saying.
What do the cards say?
Like sparkle.
Congratulations.
Like sparkle.
Sparkle. Congratulations
on your new baby.
Your baby will sparkle.
Will sparkle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
And so so let's go through this. So if somebody gets a diagnosis for their baby, or like if you know someone who has a diagnosis, you can nominate them to get a basket. Is that right?
And all you have to do is just call or go online to Jack's Basket and it's done. They've given how many baskets this year? We gave our 10,000th basket in 10 years this year. And
it's nationwide, right?
It's worldwide.
Yes. Okay.
So it's been just incredible what God has done.
Yeah, and I've been speaking a lot.
You've spoken at gala.
Okay. I feel like half my friends are at that gala every year, and I have never been. I am missing out. I know. I need to go next year.
Well,
so we'll be on the list. We will go, but you speak every year.
Yeah, I do.
Tell me about that.
Oh, man.
Did you ever think you'd be a public speaker?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you had a stage growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
you were born for this.
Starting with Mounds View, I was in speech. So I wanted to probably start speaking.
Did you get nervous?
I always get nervous.
What do you do? Because I get nervous when I speak too. What do you do when you're nervous?
Sometimes I don't have to eat my dinner. Sometimes.
Yes, 100%. I feel that.
Yep.
But
we pray about it.
But whenever I go up there, I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing. She's nervous before. She's like me. I get nervous before something, but once I'm up there, I'm okay. I'm not nervous anymore. And that's kind of Kirsta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Kirsta, what do you say in your speeches, or talk to for a second like a parent who maybe just learned their baby has Down syndrome? Like what would you tell them?
What would you tell a person who just knew they were going to find their baby was going to have Down syndrome?
Oh gosh. Well, first, congratulate them. That'll be number one.
Absolutely.
Number two would have to be
going to be a good thing.
Yes, it is a good thing. This is a hard question.
It is a hard question. What would you say, Alicia?
How would I describe it?
Yeah.
Well, I just like when Carissa called me and said, Alicia, I just had a baby with Down syndrome. I said, oh, I wouldn't change anything for $1 million. And I just said, you 100% have got this. This is not going to be a problem for you. And I think Carissa, part of the reason she started Jack's Basket is because she had a real kind of unwelcoming congratulations. There wasn't any congratulations. And so, yes, it's unexpected news and it's maybe not what you thought, but I think it's 97% of families with people with Down syndrome in them are happy. People just don't know, and you feel afraid of something you don't know. It's disconcerting. It's like anything, but then
it's hard for me, but it's like, I love it.
Having Down syndrome?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? So,
Kirsta, what do you love the most? What's the best part about your life?
Well, I love my family so much.
Yeah.
I do like hanging out with Daniel, my boyfriend. And
how about all your Disney trips?
Okay. Stop with the boyfriend business.
Okay.
I'm Disney. I'm a huge Disney girl. And oh man,
that's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun.
You get to enjoy that. Yeah.
Disneyland
or Disney World?
Yeah, I've been to Disney World.
And
Disneyland, because Disneyland is a lot different.
It is.
One of the things.
And cruises.
Yeah. We're definitely a Disney family because Disney, although I don't agree with everything about it, they are really, really good to people with special needs. They do a lot of accommodating and they really see people. So that's been kind of a fun thing that I wouldn't have dreamed that, we basically went to Disney every 3 years. We just saved for it. And that was fun because you love to pretend.
Yeah, I do.
She's a pretender all the time.
And if someone's accommodating, you're going to keep going to bed.
Friends like Harry Potter. And I get the real mine, and I'm Hermione. And
we were just talking about pretending with Wicked, because Wicked just came out. Big Wicked fans here.
I love Wicked. Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Weirdly, you as a mom, sometimes you look back and you miss when your kids were little and when they pretended or they, wrote stories, or in a way, having Kirsta keeps me enjoying that kind of stuff longer because she still gets completely jazzed to go out for Halloween. She gets completely jazzed to go to a play, to,
I think I just went to Broadway for the Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just
all the
kind of
unexpected blessings.
Yeah, it keeps you kind of young feeling like, how they say little kids bring out this just young enjoyment of just the innocence of just having fun. And Kirsta's just always about that. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Okay. If you could go back in time to when Kirsta was first born and speak to yourself, what would you say?
Yeah. I think.
Well, right after that, I did love Barney.
You did love Barney. Oh, gosh, yes. I think Barney and her para from elementary school might have done more for her than I ever could have. Barney was excellent for the way kids with Down syndrome learn because it's all thematic.
Yeah.
So putting things in categories of like the zoo, flying on a plane, brushing your teeth. And they did a lot of that with music, which was really good for her. And then these kids on the show were kind of like her friends.
Yeah.
Plus there was a purple dinosaur.
Which is a plus.
Yeah. I remember thinking that when Kirsta was first born and she was 2 pounds, 4 ounces, and I cried every day. I was worried. And then I cried every other day. And then I cried once a week. And then I cried once a month. And now I don't cry.
Yeah, not anymore.
No. So it's just letting yourself, I think, feel the normal feelings of grief when something doesn't go how you think it's going to. And then the trust of just walking out those days. And, there was no social media back then. So I would go sit in the Barnes and Noble special needs aisle and get a coffee and maybe buy a book or maybe just look at some books and get, I was always like, knowledge is power. Like, what's something I can try that would help with A, B, or C? So yeah, I pretty quickly was, I think, good. I feel like at one point the medical community was saying, oh, it's 1 out of 800. And I remember thinking, it's 1 out of 1. Like, I didn't get the wrong kid. You know what I mean?
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
I got the right one?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. Got the right one.
The perfect one for you.
Yeah. So it's a trust thing, I think. I don't mean to sound cavalier like I was always fine because I wasn't.
Right.
But I always wanted to be fine and surrendered as fast as was reasonable. I didn't want to be like a church lady who's pretending everything's hunky-dory when it isn't.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it is. But then I also wanted to be, as good as I could be as soon as I could be.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the books that you read that were most helpful?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. My favorite book was called The Language of Toys by Woodbine House. And it helped me so much with teaching Kirsta through play. And then...
And Mercy Watson.
Well, we loved Mercy Watson. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mercy Watson's are good ones.
Oh, gosh. Any book on sign language, it's fabulous.
Because I love sign language. 4 years after you, I was with Miss Mac.
You and Miss Mac. Yep. She did 4 years of sign. Kirsta knew 300 signs when she was 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I carried this book called A Word in the Hand around with me. So I wasn't trying to get fluent in ASL. I was just like, dog. Okay. So if I could teach her dog and she could say dog in sign language, then I knew that she knew that was a dog. And that was just super freeing. And then more and milk. And do you want milk or do you want juice? Or are you all done? And I think that's why she's such a good communicator, is because she never was really frustrated with communication, because she's been signing since she was 1. And
Yeah, that was
no one's going to understand that. So I think that's good for any child, but especially kids who are maybe a little slower to talk. And then, we did a lot of PT and a lot of speech and all the stuff that you can do on the early end, I would say really, really pays off.
All the work.
Yeah, just like with any child under 3 years old,
Yeah.
that's the time to hit it hard, I guess. And my saying that I would always say to myself is, it ain't nothing, So I just tried to pat myself on the back and acknowledge that, what I was doing was worthwhile, and it also was hard. And it was an effort.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So to kind of build on what you're talking about, I always end my podcast with a question, which you guys both get to answer. That when people are done listening to this podcast, what is one thing that you want every parent to know?
What do you want every parent to know? Family or children, or what should parents?
Or what do you want your mom to know?
What should parents be like?
Happy, sometimes sad, being joyful. That's my 3.
That was a good reminder, because sometimes I forget to be joyful. I really do.
Kids like it when we're joyful.
That's true.
The movie Inside Out.
Yes.
Do you remember, now, what is the name of the movie? The movie with Jennifer Garner and the little boy who grows up from the garden.
Wait a minute. The
Odd Life of Timothy Green.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there's a line in that movie where the little boy's going off to, it's such a great movie, going off to school, and the dad goes, "Have a good day," and Jennifer Garner goes, "That's too much pressure," and he goes, "Have the day you have."
Yeah.
And ever since that, as soon as I saw that movie, I thought, raise the kid you have, and don't try to make them who they're not. But yet that encompasses their good qualities and their bad qualities, and that they're this whole person, and they're not you, they're not their siblings. And how do you try to, communicate with them in a way that works for them?
Yeah. Well, I feel like that goes back to the very first thing you were talking about too, is all your kids are different. And it's part of it. Parenting is a challenge of learning each child. What do they need? What are they good at? What do they need to work on?
Exactly.
Where are their strengths? Yeah. It's the hard part about parenting too.
Yeah. And it's also such a joy to watch it unfold. When you take the pressure off that somehow you have to turn them out to be a certain something, kind of fun to watch. The twins came into the kitchen in 4th grade and said, "We want to be in band." Talk about bad parenting. Here it is. "We want to be in band." And I go, "You don't want to be in band."
Yeah.
And they were like, "We want to be in band." And I was like, "Oh, band is, because I never did band." So, and then I told my girlfriend that I said that. She goes, "You can't say that." And the next thing I knew, these two played in the band, were in a second in the nation drum line. They marched in a marching band for 4 years. It was the coolest thing I've ever gotten to be a part of. And my original thought was, you don't want to be in band, So I guess that kind of sums it up in a story, of you just don't know what's out there.
Yeah. Only God does. He's writing their stories just like he's writing ours, right? And they're all going to look different. Their story isn't supposed to look like ours, even though we kind of want it to.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so fun.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, Kirsta, how can we connect with Jack's Basket? Tell us that. And then your Tuesdays with Kirsta is on social media. So tell the people where they can connect with you every Tuesday.
I think you have to find it on Instagram for Tuesdays with Kirsta.
Yeah.
And we just did a movie review in a new year for Tuesdays.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was the topic today.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll put a link in the show notes so everyone can find it.
Yeah.
Because every Tuesday you get to interview. They interview you.
And link Ruby's Rainbow too, because they're just they're a wealth of information about college and
you can find the video.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll find that too. And I'll put that in there as well. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Steph, you can edit this out if you want, but one of the things that your mom taught me that was, I just love that we have each other. And when I was doing all that volunteering with your mom, you guys were at Pepperdine, and we were working our buns off for Camp Kara, and the phone would ring and we'd be in the middle of it didn't matter what. And if it was one of you three, she would pick up. And I remembered that. And my girls, the twins were in second grade around that time. And I remembered noting that.
I remember that.
And I have taken that to the bank. And when my girls call, 9 times out of 10, no matter what I'm doing, I pick up, and I really learned that from your mom. So,
that's so sweet.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it was really, your mom's incredible, and I learned many things from her, but that was just one little parenting tip or hack that I thought, that rings true.
No, that is a good one. We were probably calling her about, I called my mom today just to be like, hi, what are you doing?
I know.
What are you doing? I'm driving home.
Yeah, it was never like anything life shattering. Usually, once in a while it was something that needed to be discussed, but just that being able to communicate and knowing that you're available, and and again, she was a girl mom and I was a girl mom, and so it's not always the same, for different personalities or different sexes, but yeah. So, anyways,
what's your favorite Disney movie?
Oh. It's a great question. Love Encanto.
Ooh, Encanto.
I love Encanto.
If you were going to, Kirsta does a thing called casting, and she makes these casts of different people that she knows, and she puts them in plays and movies. Who would you cast as? Who would she be? In a Disney movie.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I love it.
I feel like that's such a compliment.
My mom, Ursula. Will she okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. She'll be like, do you mind if you're Ursula? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
No.
I get Sleeping Beauty today.
Sleeping Beauty. That's perfect.
I will take it. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. You guys are so busy, so I appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Oh, it was fun to see your face and just fun to chat.
I love being beached.
That's a good one, too.
Are you Belle?
Yeah, always.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kirsta.
Okay, bye, Steph.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this was an encouragement to you and that you enjoyed hearing Alicia and Kirsta's story. If you know someone who has received a Down syndrome diagnosis for their child, pass this episode along so that they can be encouraged too. As Alicia says, it's hard, but it's worth it and not worth trading for $1 million. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Come back next time. May God bless you this week, and may you remember that your child is not 1 in 800 or not 1 in a million. Your child is 1 in 1. Created by God to be entrusted to you. God chose you to be the perfectly imperfect parent for your child, and He will give you all you need. Thank you so much for listening to the Christian Parenting Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And if you love this podcast, would you please consider leaving a review and sharing it with a friend? This is the best way to reach more people and encourage even more parents. Christian Parenting is a donor-funded ministry, and we rely on friends like you to keep podcasts like this going. So to find out more about Christian parenting and to make a donation, head over to christianparenting.org or at christianparenting_org on Instagram. Thank you again. See you next week.
Stay warm and save every day, all in the Kroger app.
Get 10 for $10 on select varieties of Kroger pasta, Starkist tuna pouches, or Powerade. Then get flavorful fresh Heritage Farm chicken split breast, drumsticks, or thighs for $1.49 a pound, all with your card.
Shop these deals at your local Kroger, less than 5 miles away. Or tap the screen now to download the Kroger app to save big today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Prices and product availability subject to change. Restrictions apply. See site for details.